What's happening is Jay Powell of the Fed is trying to push the yield curve up. But as most of you know, the real yield curve is a euro dollar curve. It's not the Fed curve. And the euro dollar curve went inverted. Now, every time that has happened, tragedy follows. So most of us are old enough to remember the last time that yield curve, not the last time, but an earlier time was 2007, the euro dollar yield curve inverted and the Fed was trying to hold it up. So the Fed's pushing it this way, but the euro dollar is going this way. And that led to the Lehman moment, 2008. So then what happened in 2019, it inverted again, the repo market inverted, the euro dollar inverted, and COVID appeared. So once again, the euro dollar yield curve inverted just recently. And I'm standing alongside my friend Jim Rickards that this next one is going to be the biggest of all. Now, it's good news for some people, but horrible news for the boomers who are starting to retire. So if you're a stock market person and you're counting on the stock market to keep you alive,
yep.
Let's say you're 65 years old and you're going to live to 85, you might be in serious trouble. It's really horrible. But it was predicted in this book here. I'm not a communist, but it's called the Communist Manifesto. And, I'm just shamelessly plugging my book, The Capitalist Manifesto, which comes out in a few weeks. But this book here is only 50 pages. My book is 500 pages. But Marx was an idiot, but he was a smart guy. He predicted everything that's happening today in America. So he said that what's going to happen, and it's happening in this country here, is the boomers will go bust. This book was written in 1848. It is prescient. It is calling exactly what's happening today, 1848 till today. So unfortunately, what Marx was saying was that capitalism would destroy 50% of the population and shove them into poverty. So what happened was this book was written in 1848. 1960, I started studying it in 1965. I went to school in New York. I went to military school. 66, I'm in Vietnam as a student with the Merchant Marine Academy. And I could see what this book was saying coming to life. 72, I'm flying in Vietnam. I was a Marine pilot. It's my squadron patch. And then in 74, ERISA comes out. And ERISA is Employee Retirement Income Security Act, today known as the 401k. So you have all of these baby boomers who have no idea about markets, and they blindly give their money over to Wall Street, who rip them off. I mean, I'm not against Wall Street. I'm just against corruption. They rip them off. They don't know what's going to happen. And now, exactly as Rickards has been saying, he says the Fed, the most incompetent people going, they're telling everything's going right. Whereas the euro dollar market is so much bigger than the Fed. The euro dollar market is the biggest market in the world, and it's just inverted. We're going down.
One thing that struck me, and you know how much of a genius Rickards is he believes that we've actually reached peak inflation, that the worst in terms of inflation is behind us. I'm not sure if you agree with him there, because he's saying the reason that we got into this inflationary environment is not because of money that was released into the system, but because of bad policies from the Biden administration, but that we've peaked here in terms of that inflation. Do you agree?
The biggest problem, again, is the euro dollar system, which is 1,000 times bigger than the Fed, is crashing. Europe is going down right now. I mean, if you see the report, and this is not me speaking, this is the Wall Street Journal talking about it. There's so many rioting going on about this COVID stuff. People just don't want to take it anymore. The uncertainty is too high, so the euro dollar system is trying to go down. But Jim Rickards talks about a thing called Triffin's dilemma. Triffin's dilemma took place in 1944 when the U.S. dollar became the reserve currency of the world. And what that meant was the U.S. dollar was screwed anyway. So one of these, I'm a gold bug and a silver bug and a Bitcoin bug and all this. I just don't trust the Fed. And all these people saying, oh, don't fight the Fed, ride with the Fed. They're full of it. And so when I listen to Jim Rickards, it's about Triffin's dilemma. We always have to run a deficit. And now we can't run it much longer. So more than inflation or deflation is that the euro dollar market is now, as the index has inverted. Every time that has happened, something bad is done. That's what I'm concerned about.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Marco Stan, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Marco Stan.